Well, today I'm going to start a compost pile. I have 3 different types of compost here. Here, this pile is some horse manure, pretty concentrated horse manure. It doesn't have a whole lot. It's broke down a bit. It had some worms in it and stuff, but it still needs to break down a lot more. As you can see, that's just a wagon full of grass that I'm going to mix in, dry grass. And over here, this is a wheelbarrow full of kitchen scraps compost. Banana peels, avocado peels, potato peels, grapefruit, pineapple, corn husks, you name it. If we cook it up in the kitchen, it's in here. You'll see some cardboard mixed in there too. I try to layer it with cardboard periodically. This pile here was started at the beginning of the year, so it's not that old. But I'm going to incorporate that into this as well. Let's get started. First layer I'm going to do is this grass. So it'll absorb some of the moisture and keep it airy. Got 2 different types of grass. This big chunky stuff I'm going to put at the bottom, and then I'm going to mix this one in periodically. So you might be asking yourself, Mike, don't you have anything better to be doing today? Isn't there something better you could be doing than this? And the answer to that question is yes. But there is a reason I'm doing this instead. The fact of the matter is, gardening has not been going so well for me here for the last 6 months or so. I had a really rough winter, lost a lot of fruit trees, grapefruit, tangerine, lemon, fig, persimmon, just a lot of bad luck with that, and my gardens really haven't gone very well. I've been doing a lot of composting, trying to improve the soil, but it's taking a long time, and I'm not getting the kind of crops that I want, and it's been a little bit frustrating, just slow going. So I've decided to switch gears. Composting is what got me into gardening after all. Anyways, I used to just compost, trying to help improve soil for my wife's gardens. And then eventually I decided I wanted to try my own hand at gardening and see how I would do. And one gardening became 2, and 2 gardens became 3. You know, as any man, probably overdo it. 1 probably would have been enough. But I had to go overboard, and yeah, here we are today, me gardening quite a bit more than I ever really planned on. But I'm taking a break from gardening for the next month or so. My efforts are going to be all just fixing up the place, clearing out things I need to clear out, cleaning things up, doing what I can, and composting. And this pile is going to be a big part of my efforts here. I'm doing it in layers. And I'm doing it in the middle of these 3 compost piles because I'm trying to encourage growth, worm growth. I'm not really doing this for a garden. This compost pile is all about worm cultivation. I want to encourage worm activity, and I've already seen quite a bit of worm here, so I think I'm off to a pretty good start. I'm going to turn this a few times. I'm going to turn it every 2 to 3 days, I believe. I'm going to figure it out, but I want to try to turn this quite a bit over the next month. So that's all the kitchen scrap compost. Now, maybe because that kitchen scrap is pretty moist, so this grass is really dry. Probably be a good idea to get all this grass on there now. There we go. Pop it up a little bit. You can see this grass is really dry. I'll be incorporating moisture into it, but I just want to see how much of the moisture of that kitchen scrap compost is going to accumulate first. So no moisture today. Just pile it up and then I'm going to put a tarp on it. So there you are. That's as simple as it gets. Pile it up and there we go. Oh look. Wow. That worm was quick. There are worms in here. So that's what I want. I like seeing that. Here's another one. Here's another one. That's good. We got worms going here, so I want to see worms in all 3 of these piles. Got 3 huge piles here. These are just recent. I've only put these here in the last month or 2. Part of my composting efforts. And I'm pretty much done with that part. I'm just going to work with what I got. And this is the beginning. So I'm going to keep updating on this and the progress of this compost and see how it does over the next month or so. This is the first part of the video. Okay, this is day 4 of my kitchen scraps and grass clipping compost pile. As you can see, I have it all covered up. I've been touching it, I've been uncovering it and touching it through the tarp. And I have noticed it's generating a pretty decent amount of heat. When I press it down, it's like an oven in there. In certain areas, like over here, is warmer than here. So it's definitely got some action going on there. And today I'm going to turn it and take you along on the ride here with what I'm doing, so you can see how far along it's come in 4 days. No turning, just being covered. We did have rain yesterday. Get it uncovered. I guess I'll leave that one. I added some That is asparagus clippings. My wife trimmed some of her asparagus back to make room for a rose she has growing there. I wanted to add that to it. That can help encourage the heat process, which will encourage the composting. I was having an issue with this. The kitchen scraps was actually more of in the rotting process than the composting. And that's bad. I mean, it's still composting and it'll still become compost, but it's not as good for plants and such, because whatever it comes in contact with, it'll be more likely to make it rot. It'll just start a rotting process with whatever it comes in contact with, whatever organic. And so you want to get it a composting. This was smelling pretty bad when I put it down. And so, wow, I can see some steam and such. That's good. I don't know if I'm picking that up on the camera or not, but I'm deep in the middle of this. I'm definitely getting, wow, yeah, see, look at that. Getting some steaming action. Not real visible because it is a warm day today, but hopefully that's picking it up. That's what I wanted. Cool. Sign of changing course from rotting to more of a composting. So yeah, if I can continue that heat. I was going to get this wet, but it's still pretty moist. That compost, very moist. Okay, the kitchen scraps. I'm going to have some grass in here. There's the grass at the bottom. So that's hot right there. That's good. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and put it on the bottom, and then I'll start covering it back up. That's good. Get that grass in there too. Wow, there's some good heat going on here. small pile. Doesn't take too long to move it around. But it's wet, but it's got some dry sections, so there are some mealworms going on there. I want to see worms. They're not mealworms. Oh man, I forget the names of these. A lot of organisms working their way around. Do a little feast for them. So anyways, I'm just going to get it covered up. Like I said, day 4 of my composting work I'm doing on this kitchen scraps, grass clipping, and now there's also some asparagus cuttings in there, and I'm going to be adding some biochar further down the process. Some heat in there. Okay, this is 7 days after the first time I put this compost together. And I'm going to mix it around again and add some watermelon. See how dry it is. It's drying out. Pretty wet, yeah. I might just add some of this compost to dry it out. Pretty good. Okay. Pretty small pile, don't need to do a lot to it. So, okay. We got a new tarp. I'm going to cover it with this black one instead. I guess that doesn't cover it completely. No problem. I'll probably get another one. I'll cover it with two of them. Wow, I can feel some good heat coming out of here. Pretty good. Definitely heating up. It's definitely not as wet. Smells more like compost than rotting. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that heat. Okay. This is the 9th day of this compost pile. This is like the 4th time I've turned it. It's definitely generating some nice heat. Feels like a warm sauna. Nice. Working on this compost, it's been a little more than a week since I've done any work on it. I've just been checking its temperature from time to time. The fact that this isn't a really big pile makes it a little bit trickier to get it into a good solid composting state. It's a little on the small side. I'm trying to add things to it, but I want stuff that's broke down, and I don't have a lot of that right now. So anyways, I'm not really working it a ton, but I'm checking it. Wow, it's looking pretty decent here. I'm not feeling a lot of heat coming out of it. Let me get my hand down here. It's definitely warm though. There's a nice steamy feel coming from it. So that's good. And I can see things are breaking down too. Yeah, that's good to get it up mixed in better. Probably put that towards the bottom. Okay, I have that grass at the bottom already. Definitely want to keep that there. Helps keep it moist. Helps keep it from getting too moist on the bottom. Wow, I just saw some steam coming. Definitely getting a good amount of heat going here. Pretty decent. Okay. I like the temperature. Got some moisture going. Not overly wet, but it was a little mucky in some areas. Not like that so much anymore. And now this bottom. Seeing a lot of those. Some kind of worm, mealworm. I'm not sure what they are. But they're there, they're through there. They're all through. They're not maggots, but they do have a maggot look to them. But they're not actual maggots. I prefer earthworms, but these are pretty good at breaking it down too. Okay. Put some more of this in there. And cover it up. I have some more I can put in here, but I'm gonna wait. Because this is looking pretty good. It's not getting overly wet, even though I've had some rain. just cover it up now. And I have these two piles of compost. I'm just kind of scooping some of that in there. Not really intentionally, just whatever goes in. I'm just focusing on the kitchen scraps compost that I have. So that's pretty good. That's something I want to get out of there. Plastic. That's the cardboard, I'll eat that. So, that's it. Just took it apart and put it back together. It's breaking down, and it's definitely generating heat, so it's in a good state right now. That's all for this part of the turning. Okay, here I go again. It's been a few days since the last time I turned it. I checked it out a little bit last night. It was looking pretty decent, so I'm thinking it's time to do it again. Get this uncovered. All my brakes. And this trash bag that I repurposed as a tarp. Looks like this is the only shovel I have. I forgot my other shovel. It'll work. So, there's those worms. Not the earthworms, but the other kind. This would look pretty broke down. Look at it. Okay, I'm turning this compost pile. Here's what it's looking like right now. Pretty broke down. You can see some of this stuff pretty well as far as what it was. Some of the avocado pits. Avocado skins and pits. Yeah, pits too. So, I'm going to turn it now. And I'm completing this part of this composting video. The heat, not as much as I would have liked, so it's kind of been a fail as far as generating heat. I'm pretty sure it's because the size of this pile is so small. To generate really significant heat, you gotta have a bigger pile. Put some grass on the bottom to kind of absorb the moisture. Seems to do that. It's definitely not as moist as it was. This is the way it looked not long ago. Less than a month ago. This was pretty much what I put in there, and I'm going to add this to it. That's going to be my second part of this video. The second parter, I'm going to do it in two separate videos, 2 parts. Just see what I can do here. I have some other stuff. I have some green I'm going to be adding, and this will help keep the moisture down. But that's pretty much the state of it right now. I mean, it did break down a lot, so from that part, I did well. As far as the heat, generating a nice hot compost, didn't do that. It was warm, but it wouldn't sustain the warmth, and it's mainly, I know it's because of the size. This is just such a small pile. So I'm going to add to it and see if that'll help for the next video. So that's it for on this one. I'm going to add some stuff now. Those are full pieces of chunks of wood. Just putting them, they're really rotted down, so. Okay, not too complicated. Building it back up. And that pretty much is it. Appreciate you joining me in on my composting adventure. It wasn't a complete success as far as what I was trying to do, but overall, you know, I mean, hey, it's creating compost. That stuff broke down a ton. You can see a huge difference. And so I'm continuing this, and I'm just going to try to build this pile up bigger to see if I can reach my other goal of creating more of a hot composting process going there, where I can really feel a consistent amount of heat coming out of the pile. This is still very small. I probably needed at least double that size. Matter of fact, as big as these piles around it would probably be much better if I had it about, yeah, about the size of some of these piles that are around it. See that one? This one's a little smaller. Even that one, that size could be a lot better than this one over here. But I'm working on it. So I have that green over there, and I'll just keep adding things that I can to it. I want things that are broke down. Even though these leaves don't look very broke down, they're very thin and they're a very easy material to break it down. And I mean, I think in a couple of days it'll be a big difference. So again, thanks for stopping by. Good luck with any of your composting efforts or whatever you might be doing in your life. And I'll talk to you later. Signing off.